of elevation changes, and see how it goes. If makes it's hard to the drivers or not. 5 red lights, and go. Starting the 1 hour race. Andrew doing a good start from the pole position. Behind that, it's Neo making good starts, Binding going very wide here, making a off-limit overtake or keeping the position off-limit, but might get a warning for that. But depending on what happened with the 7, if it gets reported, might change. Good move from the outside from Raphael with what's that Nin that was really going very slow out of the hairpin, dropping down to 9th place. Struggling to keep it between the lines apparently in some of those corners. And Andrew, sorry, already hopped quite a gap, almost 1 second. And then Neo is completely on the back of Amar. If I'm saying his name right, was Ahmad. Sorry, Ahmad Sarwar. Perhaps when I altered, it might do weird things. I'm gonna try to avoid that. We have quite a good close train Binding, Akshik, and even Raphael not far back. And Nin is also quite close to Eddie. Eddie is quite known for making quite a huge number of practice laps during the week. Hoping he keeps improving and gets some results there. Binding move Neo with some lag. Move done. Neo is still chasing, so he's not letting that out for now. And we have Nin that just went back Eddie, I think, but dropped instantly. I'm missing something. Oh, already 2 big groups. There's a huge gap here between P6 and 7. What's that? Actually, Nin making another mistake, going a bit wide. Let's up. Actually, Eddie is really close to Box. Box was trying to get some overtakes done. Actually, that was Panther making going a bit wide and having to lift. That's 3 wide, going to turn 1. With Brave, everyone missing the corner. Everyone is going too wide, and it's Eddie taking the most of it. should be penalized by the server automatically if they gain any time doing that. If not, drivers are completely allowed to open tickets about that, and we'll see if it deserves a penalty. But nothing will be done right there. So letting them race, letting the server do the things, and we'll see. So Neo having some issues with the lines. With the gaps opening in the front pack. And I completely missed, but Eddie completely lost it, made a mistake and dropped it. So we have just a 3-way battle now between Panzer, Nin and Box. And in the front the gaps are already quite big, so is it that the cars are difficult to follow, or so easy to make any mistake that the gaps will just grow naturally because of that? That's something we will need to ask those drivers after the race. That was a weird line here. Turning in way too early into turn 1, completely jumping over the curb. And those curbs are really not something you want to hit. Those are the famous sausage curbs that you really don't want to hit. it will launch the car into the stratosphere, so you really avoid those. Yeah, sorry, I was reading some notes here. We have at the back of the grid we have Min and Boxbox who are both driving on mouse and keyboard, which to me is sounds completely crazy. Would never be any kind of regular like be able to do any consistency with that, but they are able to do so. So very big shout out to them to make that kind of driving and that kind of control work. It is showing some pace. He's just struggling with consistency for now apparently, and with and even the wheel he uses having some issues. So it's really not an easy thing to drive those LMP2 cars around this track. As I said at the start, the elevation changes definitely make it harder, trickier than flat tracks. New big mistake here. Don't really understand what he clipped at the start. Probably just yeah, maybe hit the thing in the inside. Yeah. Quite sad for this battle. He will go again, but he is totally one of the example of being on the wheel and still struggling with consistency on some specific conditions. On some easy tracks, he's capable of being very fast and amongst the quickest. But yeah, when it's a bit less natural. And you have to think a bit more that your driving is still learning and still improving on that. And meanwhile, that is really not in difficulty is Andrew showing again his overall pace and abilities of adapting to different cars and circuits. All of the stars on the side of the cars are for the championship that he won. Going from vintage to modern championship with the Alpine, the original 70s Alpine A110. To don't want to do mistakes on which championship he won, so I won't really cite any more, but he's certainly going, like, always being quite with the leaders or close to the lead group. The whatever league we made, the Radical Leagues, the Super GT, or the Japan GT Championships, the 90s Group A, whatever, both in Vintage Wednesday and Saturday races. But he built quite big a gap earlier, and Ahmad is slowly catching up. Only a 1.3. Sorry. and getting closer to the 1 second gap. And Binding with Andrew's teammate is really doing good for now in 3rd place. Trying his best to stop Akashi for scoring another podium after a very good streak 2 weeks ago, I think. Probably 2 weeks ago. Because last week was Tyre 12 hour of Le Mans, so and we have Neo making another one. Neo lost the position and Raphael was quite far away, so probably we should have missed Raphael's mistake first, because those two were battling when we last see Neo hitting the curb, I think. So it's separating them to the battle for the top, so actually this P4 is quite a solid gap to P5 already. So that's something. Maybe the gaps are small enough to be sorted by race strategy. We'll have to keep an eye on that, of course. Hopefully the pits shows up here, so it makes it easier for us to know what's happening. Neo being very close to Raphael's gearbox. He's trying his best to move. To move up again, with Nin being not that far down. So we'll save that battle for now, as they are definitely the closest on track. And 48 minutes left. The pit limit will open in 3 minutes, so in just a few laps. We don't expect pit stops very soon anyway. Usually happens between 30 minutes to 40-45 minutes, which like 45 minutes is when the pit window closes, so you can't, I mean you can do your pit stop after that, but you get a penalty for not making it during the open pit window. And basically if you pit before it opens or after it closes, it's really just for repairs, or if you misjudge the fuel needed, or if you completely destroy your tires or anything like that. So it shouldn't happen. That's why usually people that try to pit the latest usually does it between 40 to 43, 44 minutes. Just not play with fire and make it like 1 lap too late and miss the window. While Neo is still chasing, going closing the gap and opening it again. Awad has lost some ground again on Andrew, so either Andrew was up the pace, or Awad is slowing down a bit, but Binding is still about 4 seconds down on his teammate, so it's really close. He's closing in on Awad at least, and he's still really close enough to be able to get any take advantage of any mistakes in the front, or even take the front just by better strategy, being undercutting or overcutting the guys in front. So we'll see what they have in mind. I do think that they changed tires because we accelerated the fuel rate and tire wear to make sure that a pit stop, like they do a proper pit stop and not just like add 1 liter to make it count and go away to have the shortest pit stop timer. So they do have to do a proper pit stop. I think in the pre-season some did change tires, some didn't, and that was pretty good for the strategy. But I think it was not really worth changing tires, so we upped that since. And I think everyone has changed their tires since that, so we'll have to see. So pit window just opened, and will be open for the next 30 minutes. As we have another car quite close. Front front of the box. The gap opened up again already, so we'll have to see. So actually, yeah, Binding is really probably the quickest on track right now. It's really interesting. Wonder if there is like if he just practiced, he found something is quite often a bit slower than on-road, but which is like 99% of the league races, just because on-road is one of the quickest drivers that we have. And actually, I was making a mistake. There is a battle for P2. With Banning still being 4 seconds down on his teammates, so it's really the teammates have very similar pace. As Eddie is getting lapped right there. Yeah, Eddie, you're doing awesome job, almost getting out of the circuit to let them by. Don't necessarily have to do slow that much, but thank you, Eddie, for doing that. Probably running his chances to do any result, but that's really nice of him. And that really didn't change anything for the battle, but we have a battle for P2. I actually dropped a bit of time again. He was 4 seconds down, like 3 seconds down quite a few time ago. Then it was 4, 5, now it's up to 7 down on Binding, so I think it's washed. I mean, he got podiums last round, so I wouldn't say it's completely washed. Like even P4 is not really washed. I know we're missing a few very fast drivers, but still very decent. Like he's really on his own right now, with the top 3 being the top 3 being like between like 4 seconds gap to the first to the third, and then you have actually 11 seconds down, and then there is 13 seconds again of gap. So actually he's really in his own bubble. He hasn't got Pixel to help his setup, but yeah, probably just using whatever setup he was using the previous race, which somehow Portimao might be one of the few tracks that you want very specific setup for it, just because of all the elevation changes and all the sudden changes in the track. And apparently Rafa just lost it, but he lost 2 positions. He was still being chased very closely by Neo, and he completely got overtaken by Neo and Nin. So here goes Rafa, but always a chance to get back with Over's mistake, which might happen as Eddie is in the pits. That sounds like a... No, he's actually in the pits. That is the camera that is doing weird things again. sorry, my noise is a bit it's always doing weird things when I'm commentating, so I don't know what's causing that. Let's do an onboard lap of Andrew. So we have the braking for turn 1, which is fit in a downhill section, going up, then very fast, then you have this very sharp one going left here on the uphill as well, so very easy to understand and go wide. Dropping down now, another braking in a downhill, so you need to brake earlier than you expect. Going up again in acceleration, so very important acceleration. Quite fast right before you brake really hard for this one. Go up again, down again, full speed around there. And then you have that very blind, very late apex on the right side. Again, easy to miss and easy to go too wide. Downhill again, another full speed left, braking again, quite a hairpin, and then turning right. Again, another late apex that you want to hit, and from there should be full speed. In a very fast final corner. Depending on the car, you don't really full speed there, but this car is able to do so. And that was a very solid lap. I'm having FPS drops again. And how? Please. It just looks like my game is doing very weird things with in and out of focus. Like sometimes it's good off focus, and sometimes it just without me doing anything just goes. It acts like it's off focus and losing performance. And if I just go out and go back, it's work. Oh, that's a very nice angle here. Downhill. It's almost like looks like they are. Accelerated. I wouldn't expect the LMP2 cars to be that fast or look that fast in some angles, some corners, but yeah, apparently they are. Yeah, the gap still continues to grow. We still have actually this big bubble, like 10 seconds ahead, 15 behind, 3 on his own. Top 3 is now in 3 seconds when it was 4 seconds a bit earlier, so maybe Andrew is having some issues with the tires, or just having some struggles to keep the pace up. Almost halfway there, so it's usually the part where it's start to get out of focus, to lose a bit the focus, the momentum. The tires are starting to act a bit weird, so you're losing more time, and that together probably doesn't help him. It's harder to be chased than chasing one, so could explain the difference. Meanwhile, Ahmad and Awad and Tyre and Binding are really like still chasing, so they have their target in front of them, which, well, for both is pretty much Andrew. So he's still there, hasn't been able to get away and make a huge gap, so they are going for him. So it's gonna be interesting. If they can't make a pass on track, the pit strategy is really the go-to. So we'll have to see. They still have a few minutes and laps to sort it out. We'll see how it goes. We have Penza that made a pit stop but missed. Going down one lap now. And completely missed Eddie, so he definitely had some issues that made him DNF'd. Yeah, again, which is quite sad, as he's usually one putting some time and effort into practicing. Always a shame to not see him finish the race. But yeah, something happened that caused him to be lapped this early, and then it was just really went downhill from there. So we have Neo and Nin getting on another fight for P5. So really interesting. That's a very good angle there. Works better on straight line, of course, but yeah, quite a good one. Can we go with Neo there? Oh, just jumping with the other battle. The difference in the car liveries from the very fuzzy Neo's livery to Andrew's white, plain white. They didn't even change the plates. Yeah, I expect that, but you know, they really. Oh no! What did I make? What did I do? That's it. They really didn't change anything. Yes, you can see that the liveries. Hatsune Miku here. Arakan Ray. And on the other side was Idol. Or official music shop. And the shapes at the front. Really solid liveries. Made by Sadie. And I made the very same one for Eddie at the in the pits, sadly. Alright. Oh, I was already on set too. Oh, come on. Sorry, changing the TV set. Cameras in the back. Back with on the battle for the lead has gap between Awad is getting closer to Andrew. Branding has dropped a bit more time, but he's still 2.3, 2.4 seconds down on his teammate. So top 3 in about 2-3 seconds after half the race is quite impressive, and we have actually in the pits about at the half mark of the race, so he is the first one to blame. Probably changing tires. I would say it's the only reason to pit this early is to change tires. and just equal the wear between the first and second stint. First half and second half of the race. Otherwise, I really wouldn't hit at the halfway mark. It doesn't really make much sense with the fuel strategy. Like, I think it's quicker to onboard more fuel at the start and lose less time refueling it in the pits than doing it in the middle of the race. But Andrew and so many people in the pits, and Awad, Raphael and Box are in the pits as well. So many people in the pits at the halfway mark, so if ever the tires are falling away and they can't really push them further, or everyone is finding it just better to pit right now for some reason, which is the complete opposite of what we saw at Daytona, if I remember correctly, where the goal was to pick the latest. I wouldn't say it's best best way ever. I'd say just a middle way, like pitting at 25 to 20 minutes probably is one of the best strategy, but of course depends on tire wear. And everyone knew as well, and they didn't. They just pitted with the other car, so you don't really open any strategy gain doing that, which I find pretty sad. Even like not really good strategically. I would say it's, of course, it's an advantage to go with the car you're following, just so you can keep following them and stay in a rhythm. But we'll see. The first one, like the only one in the battle to not follow is the other guys in the pits is Binding, who made one more lap only, so he's going for overcut, a slight overcut. Howard lost 4 seconds in the pits, so it's quite big, and just gaining that Binding would be in lead, so it's going out right now, with Andrew going out of the is starting the stride state, so Andrew is ahead, and Binding is P2. Binding overcut Howard for P2. So Binding and Andrew probably had the same strategy, as the gap really didn't change between them, just a few tenths, or yeah, cold tires being very wide here. As we have, oh no, that's not necessarily cold tire, that's just sponsor being lapped, staying out of the way, which is really nice. Yeah, so everyone more or less picked at the same time, so really no gain from that. Wasn't really any strategic advantage going on. The only main difference is Howard losing P2 and losing 4 seconds into the operation. They probably onboarded less fuel than the others at the start, and needed more time to add whatever it needed to go to the end. I would say that's the reason. Probably there is another one, but whatever happens in the pits, I guess. Can't really be a mechanic missing the wheel, as it would happen in real life. It just it's just perfect mechanics here in game. But many other things can happen, as the drivers are themselves the driver, of course. They're not the mechanics, because there are not really mechanics in the game, but they are the racing engineer deciding when to pit, with like for what to pit, so tires or not, fuel or not, or how many fuel. So they have to decide that all on the fly, or like before the race, but you can adjust that on the fly. But doing so you might lose time in the driving, so it's really a fine balance to do. For now it has costed out the most compared to the other one. The battle here has changed a bit, but I think it's fine right now. Like Nin is falling a bit down on rhythm to Raphael. Neo is flying a bit ahead, 11 seconds now gap, but 33 seconds down on Aklik, so the gap to the gap between Aklik is massive. A third of a lap. And so Andrew suddenly, like, he was really under pressure, and there was 3 cars into 3 seconds. Only now how his teammate, which is still about 3 seconds down, chasing him, making things a lot more easy, because like, it's not 2 cars chasing him, it's only 1, and it's his teammate, so they can even sort, they can even do strategy call here to not fight. I don't know if they will, but it's a possibility, as we have Motorsport here staying away from the leader, making it very easy to go. Nicely done again. The blue flags for now have been very good. So, good job from the drivers. I know it's something we want to improve on. Getting like showing to the drivers how it's done, like both the ones receiving the blue flags and the one lapping the slower cars. That's something we need to work on a bit, to make everyone knows about the course, what needs to be done. But so far it's been very clean, very good. As we've lost Nin, as Eddie has still been in a pit since his crash, quite early into the race. But no, not Nin. Who did we lost? I'm missing a name. Right now he's back. No, I'm not. I'm getting confused now. No one in the pit, so maybe I just I don't know. I'm not really sure what happened there. Probably the fatigue I'm having a bit right now, but already I went to a bit of biking this morning, and raced for like 2 hours this afternoon, so probably just a bit exhausted. But I'm here to show you the event, because Aaron couldn't. Having to do the commentary duties to showcase the good racing that we've had so far in the race. Maybe not many overtakes, but still interesting battles in my mind. As really close pace between drivers. we've seen clipping the curbs here, and Rafael is being overtaken by Nin. As we've seen with this group like Neo, Nin, Rafael, Box, and Panther having overtaken each other quite a lot during the race. Meanwhile, top 4, especially top 3, it's mostly been just a pace game. No one able to put a gap, like to gap his opponent. So far it costed Sawad the most, Awad, sorry, the most, as he lost P2 in a pit lane, in a pit cycle. But other than that, the 3 of them are really close in pace, and it's really like whoever can, whoever does the mistake probably loses 1 or 2 pace depending on who it is, or just a ton of time, and isn't contention really anymore for better. So it's really interesting to follow such a battle, like a battle in distance. For now it's like 3 seconds, so Bani who climbed up to the low 2-second gap, I've been back a bit more to the 3 seconds. So maybe it depends on the parts of the circuits as well. Some drivers can be more inclined in some sections, in some series of corners than others, and maybe just bad enough makes a few tenths, but they will lose them then later in another section that they like less than others. Some things like that can really happen on such tracks with many different corners, and really you have some that, yeah, again going very wide here. Sadly, don't think it's getting penalized, but it's really hard to stay in line with how the track acts. But that should still be the goal. We are getting back a bit with Rafael chasing Nin for P6. At Sawad with losing Awad, sorry, having some Ahmad, saying his name really wrong for the last minutes. Ahmad Sawa. Really, I mean the name doesn't really appear in game, so I have to check it in a tower, but still, that's poor commentary here. I mean, I'm not powered. Haven't been doing commentary for the last years or so. When I joined Syndicate, it wasn't even Syndicate, but Parrot was streaming, but he was streaming his POV while driving. That was really different. But time goes by. No, he was already used to stream, so of course it's different. It's some skill already, and then you switch to commentary, and doing commentary once a week, basically every week for years. It's of course make it way easier than it is for me that's only doing so for like a month or two now. And 8 o'clock, been just riding for the final 15 minutes. The gaps are pretty much done by now, but still much to happen as we on board with Raphael chasing Nin, as they have been battling for most of the race, with the gaps going back and forth, advantages going back and forth. Raphael was quicker earlier, but now he made a mistake, let Nin by and can't really catch him back. And meanwhile at the front we still have Andrew being chased by his teammates, still about 3-second gap, which gap has really not moved like for the past 30-40 minutes. Pretty crazy. Ahmad, who is now 7.6 seconds down on Andrew and 5 seconds down on Binding, has lost second place on a pit cycle. They all entered the pits very close together. With Binding was about 3 seconds down Andrew in P3, and he pitted later than the other two, and his gap to his teammate wasn't changed, but Ahmad lost the most time here. He lost about 4 seconds, and the rest is on track, but probably there's frustration as well to potentially lose on second place and potentially on a very chance to chase and overtake Andrew for the lead, just in the pits. Which, well, this is what we try to emulate here with the endurance, a bit more endurance side of the racing compared to other stuff that we usually do on the Saturday racing on Syndicate, which is most often than not have been driving on 20, like 2 times 20 minutes format, which is our casual format, but also has been used in the leagues. And we're seeing that the sun is still starting to get a bit lower, so it shouldn't go to nighttime, I think. Like, I'm the one that made the time setups, the hours, starting hours, and to calculate when it finishes. It should be close, but it shouldn't be nighttime. At best, it should be in the twilights, the sun very setting down. And I just noticed that Neo is about the same pace as Akshik again for the last 20 minutes. After having a very difficult start in first stint, lots of battle with Nin and Raphael. Some mistakes as well during first battles. And how is like the gap to Akshik has been very solid, very stable for Xteams. And meanwhile Akshik, who was once very close to the lead group, like less than 10 seconds from Andrew, is now over 30 seconds of Andrew and 26 seconds of Ahmad. So actually it's been struggling a bit more, or have like just eased off the pace, as he knew he was in his bubble and he had huge gaps in front and behind, so maybe taking it easier than he could, and just doing his best to secure his 4th place, which is still a very good result, especially when you consider that some drivers are missing. Some very fast drivers are missing, notably his teammate Pixel, and we're also missing Vice and Eric. So getting a 4th place here for Akshik is still a good result. It's not a podium like last time at Daytona, but it's still a good one. And we'll jump back a bit with it's not telling me that. Okay, it's saying that Binding is closing in on Andrew. Would be interesting to see if they do anything about that. If they race or like whatever happens, it would be very interesting. Either Binding is able to close the gap and we have something. Ever just the gap, like Ahmad's completely lost the chase, except for mistakes, which would really don't want to happen. The gaps, like he can't chase the top two now, he's too far away. So the battle for the lead is really between the two teammates, with Andrew being in the front and Andrew being the favorite of the two drivers to get the overall best position. So I would be very interested to see if something happens. Saying that so far Andrew has scored P3, P4, P4, while Binding has P7. He missed race 2 and he got P5 in the previous round, so the points 3 are at the advantage of Andrew for now, with Andrew being quite far from the two leaders who are missing tonight. But he's really chasing Files, who is also missing tonight, for P3, very close together. We can make a little tour on the standings after the race. So yeah, actually fifth in the standings, and only the second one of those here tonight. So getting P4 is not as good as I thought first, but he's still very limiting the damage to Binding and Ahmad, who are behind him. So all good. And yeah, the few drivers that we saw at Daytona scoring again might give them some places, some good results. We could see that after the race. As yeah, the sun is starting to set now. I wonder if we can see that. Yeah, looking good. Again, having the FPS issues, which I'm really sorry. I have no clue what's happening. Why it's happening just when I'm spectating? Because when I'm driving, I have no issues. I really don't know. But yeah, Binding is still chasing. Okay, some cameras don't have sound. Yeah, that angle is very sick. Just a bit further on the right, and so we could see ahead would be awesome. Might use it for the thumbnail. And actually Neo lost a bit of time to Akashik and also to Nin behind him, so with Raphael losing a bit of time to Nin as well. This one's 2 now cap, so it was very close, like in a 1 second range to try to make an overtake. Really couldn't do anything about that. Couldn't make it happen. So He's back a bit now, but Binding is looking like he's going for it. He really wants that win, and it would be quite awesome for him. I have to say that I really don't know if he already won a race, like a league race. We'll have to see that, as we have fans in the pits. I hope it's not a DNF, not so late into the race, so probably just a mistake into damage, and just waiting to make the last few laps. Oh, already in the pits for quite a long time. We missed it. I don't know if you will get points. Like you gain points if you do, I think, 75% of the race. Which, like, when there are only 10 drivers, is really big points. Easy way. A bit of a shame that Eddie couldn't rejoin the track to keep driving and get both points, because even if he stayed on the server doing just a few laps, like he's 26 laps down and the leaders are in lap 37, so he made 13, no, he made just 11 laps. It's definitely not enough to score points, so really a shame for Eddie. Yeah, let's see what planning can do. So we'll jump the rear wing camera of Andrew, see if he gets close enough. Fast right, the final corner. The gap opens up a bit here. Yeah. Wonderful skybox at the back. Finding using track limits very fairly, I would say. Very taking lots of liberties about what is track limits, and doing his best to cosplay Americans and NASCAR, like NASCAR and IndyCar drivers. We'll have a word about that. But he's chasing his teammate here. He's chasing Andrew, and 2 minutes to go. It's probably this lap and another one, and that would be it. So not very much chances to go for. I don't know, his set, you know, was pretty good. Less than a second, but he hasn't really been able to get closer to that and get into the like 5-10, which is more or less what you need to get really a big slipstream and an opportunity at the end. Still have fans in the pits right away. So taking turn 1. So we are in the final lap. That's for sure now. Staying very close here into the first section. Andrew losing a bit of the rear here on the little hill out of turn 4, but kept his speed. Now Burning is very close, but is there any opportunity left in this lap? I think most of them are early into the lap, so it's getting a bit tense now. As I'm seeing, Neo is getting under pressure at the very end of the race. With Nin getting into the 1 second. Again, it's not quite close enough. Box doing an awesome job getting out of the way of the leaders. Probably doesn't want to do another lap as well. But well, that wasn't Box, that was Raphael. Sorry. Raphael getting lapped at the end of the race. And yeah, Andrew secures the win, but Binding really gave it all. Went to the end of it. Gave his best for it. As we closing up the podium with Ahmad, who finished quite far away, 15-16 seconds. But he really went for it as well. He was in P2 for the whole first stint. Only 1 second down, lost 4 seconds into the pits, and then it was really he never recovered in the second stint. He didn't have the pace, and he really never recovered the issue, the time lost in the pits. Still a very good P3 for him, very solid drive. Actually taking the 4th place in his own the whole race, basically. He never saw anyone. He was a bit similar to Ahmad, a good pace first stint. He dropped a bit more in second stint. Then we have Neo just staying ahead of Nin for P5 at the very end. And then the last one, Ruffle, Box sponsor. Yeah, good job, Andrew. Really good job. Binding was going for it at the end. And so I'm gonna exit, save the replay, and gonna just create the create the interview room, because you've done a hell of a job. Gonna go with it's no time. Okay, never mind. Okay, come in. Who wants to do an interview? Okay, we have the race winner. Oh, Binding really made you work for it at the end. Yeah, I mean that's a very solid 1-2 for your team, with the top 3 of the championship not present today, so you are at least jumping Viles for P3. Yeah, very solid pace. Did you find the track hard, like difficult to drive? I think it's harder than the one we did so far, but how actually hard it is with both cars. The very late apex. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay. Just a final question. What was the pit strategy? Like, I'm actually surprised that everyone pitted about at the middle, just about the middle of the race. Was that for tires or? Okay. Mm. Okay, yeah, that's why everyone went in for that exact reason. I think the only big change was Ahmad losing like 4 seconds on you, and then Binding pitting just went on 1 lap later, but didn't lost any time to you. So I was wondering why everyone was pitting early, so basically halfway into the race. Yeah. Okay. Well, nice. Very. Like, thank you. And then congrats again for the win. Yep, I get Binding first and then Ahmed. Thanks, Andrew. Binding. Welcome, welcome. Oh, what a race. Yeah, you really worked for it. Oh god, I can't. Yes. Gonna roll the drive of the car sound in the game. Yeah, you really worked for it. Did you work out the strategy like pitting later than the others at the front too, or it just happened? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, he went in the pits at the same lap as Andrew, and the gaps before they entered was about 1 second. And when they exit, the gap was about 5 seconds. Meanwhile, you were about 3 seconds down on Andrew when he pitted, and the gap never changed, basically. So, your overcuts worked somehow. Yeah, very like nice of you. You did an awesome job. Like, what happened at the end of the race that your pace was so much quicker suddenly? Yep. Yeah, it's really it went really close at the end. Not missing a lot. Like maybe just a few laps could have been enough. Yeah. Well, still a very solid result here. P2 and 1-2 for the team. So, I was wondering, do you remember if you already won a league race? Okay, not actual counting race. Yeah, I was wondering because it's like you're one of the drivers, but when it clicks, you are really fast and amongst the best. And when it doesn't, you're just you're midfield. But yeah, no, definitely, especially considering how like many good drivers we have in the field. So no, really good, and today clicked for you, so really good results. Really good to see you at the front. She's very enjoy, and I won't tell anything about track limits, but yeah, let's just not talk about that. It depends. Andrew was pretty clean, at least when I was watching him. But yeah, no, I know it's a very tricky corner. You really want to carry the speed. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, I was wondering like if you get any warning. I think if I remember correctly, the track is pretty easy on those warnings, so you shouldn't get much of them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but that was apart from that little point. No, very big race. Congrats for tonight. I think so, yeah. Except if you have a final things to say. Yeah, thank you, and have a good night. Yeah, thank you. And finally, the third place of today's. Thank you for waiting, Ahmad. Sorry for for that. Good job tonight. You had a very big first stint, and then you lost a bit of ground in the second one. Do you know the strategy, like the pit strategy? What happened in the pits that you lost 4 seconds? Okay. Well, yeah, it's quite sad, but all that time, like the first stint, you managed to get like he get a nice gap from the lap 1, pretty much. You managed to get that down to 1 second by the end of the stint, and suddenly you're like 4-5 seconds down and down in P3. And did you had any difficulties in the second stint, or like you couldn't really get back behind Binding and Andrew? Yeah, nice. Yeah, you really wanted to secure the podium. Actually, it was quite far for P4. So that's what I was wondering. Like the final gap is like 15 seconds, something like that. So I was wondering if you had like big issues at the end. So yeah, probably it's like more setup setup difference that causing maybe more tire wear. Nice, that's very nice to see, because it's really the thing that makes the difference. I think you missed the first few rounds. Yeah, we do have certainly a very nice group of drivers and quick ones as well, and it's always a pleasure to add one to the list. So of course you're very much welcome to the next races. I'll let you celebrate your podium still, because that's still a very good thing to get and to celebrate, and hopefully we'll see you in the next race. Thank you, bye. And finally, because it never stops, hi Akashik. Last but not least, the best for the end. I'm not British indeed. Yeah, I don't know. It works both ways apparently with what we learned with Andrew, I think, today. Just the private jokes from the server, I think. Yeah, how was the race? I think you had solid pace in first stint and dropped off a bit second stint. And yeah, you were in your bubble. Yeah. Yeah, really sorry for that. Oh, just catching a little spin here. Yeah, you were like staying at 10 seconds to the leaders for most of the first stint, so I was hoping for some more. And the pit cycle happened, and suddenly you lost a bit of traction, like probably just getting bored and losing focus. Do you think? Okay. It will be a widely different track than the one we raced on for the THA event. I heard they added a few chicanes here and there. Yeah, nothing bad happened. Nice. Yeah, I mean, somehow the top 3 of the championship standings were not here tonight. But even without that, like for a track that you are not good at, getting a P4 is quite not bad. So good job here. Nice. Well, you can go now. You are pretty much free for that. Thanks for showing up. Always a pleasure. And yeah, he just told me that he had some issues that he couldn't take the stream tonight. So on short notice, because it was a few hours ago, he asked me if I could jump in, which I managed to do. So good thing for the league, I think. I'm always happy to show the races. Good one happened, good race, very clean one, and yeah, I had some issues as well at the start. Really big troubles with, I think it's the chair HUD. But I had very poor FPS, which I have absolutely no idea why. Because when I was driving the THR event, 12-hour race with 55 cars, which should be pretty heavy on the PC, I had absolutely no issues with running them most of the time. So I really don't know why in spectator mode I have some issues. But managed to solve them during quali, so for the race it was mostly good. And yeah, had some very good race to show, so quite happy that I jumped in to stream that. Yeah, have fun. It will definitely be different than the usual pirate commentary. But it's probably gonna be fun to compare the two. But yeah, I will definitely let Parrot get back to it. Of course, if he doesn't have more issues. But hopefully everything is sorted by next week. So yeah, I'm gonna jump out as well. Pretty tired on my own, and that will be it for tonight. See you. Okay, so yep, we're gonna end the stream there. So next week we have trying to look at what we have next week. We have on Wednesday, the Wednesday Vintage Wednesday League 1967 Formula 1 race at Bremgarten, circuit in Switzerland, and then on Saturday, normally with Parrot, Alton Park. No, never mind. Wait, we haven't made the announcement yet. Sorry. Next week is Spa Francorchamps, the modern track, of course. Will be quite interesting. So, see you there. Bye.